Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Taco Talk.
For the record, the only project Carson Kennedy and Aiden Fletcher have ever followed through with.
That's right. We tried making a movie.
Yep.
We tried, multiple movies.
Multiple movies. The best one, though, definitely, without a doubt, was the Attack of the Killer Pumpkin Lawn Bags. No. You know those lawn bags that people put out during Halloween, like that they put their leaves in? Yeah, we were going to make a movie where they kill people, right? And they're aliens. Also, that's copyrighted. So if you think you're going to steal that, Quentin Tarantino, another thing coming.
So, my personal favorite movie is the one we tried to make in 8th grade in Mr. Irway's, and we thought it'd be like, kind of like The Office, but instead of The Office at school, and then we shot.
I remember that.
We shot half of one scene, and then it just died.
Yeah, remember? I think I blew my nose in a note card. That's what prompted us to stop.
Yeah, no, you did. I remember that. What are some other? We've tried to make a comic book.
Yeah, we tried to make a fantasy role-playing game at one point. Do you remember that? Back in the day? Mr. Irway's class in Richmond.
I don't know.
We've made so many comic books, it's not even funny.
At this point, you could really just say, "Oh, they tried to do this," and I'd believe you.
I imagine
you could say anything.
I imagine at one point we tried to make a song. Oh no, we did have one thing where we tried to make superheroes. Tape Measure Man.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Tape Measure Man was a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Nail Man, I'll nail you. That was a classic. Carson's choking on water over here already.
I'd forgotten about Nail Man. Okay.
2 minutes in and we're already dying.
Okay. We could talk about this. We'll table
this is another episode.
We'll table this conversation for another day.
We've already planned out what we want to talk about.
What we're really getting at today is so it's been about 2 months and odd number of weeks since Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom has been released in theaters.
So one of the main things, we're both in journalism class, and one of the main things they talk about is timeliness in your work. And we're really timely with 2 months.
Obviously.
2.5 months past the date of release. I want to put that on the record.
You gotta give it a little room though, because you have to wait for the initial.
Hey, let the wine. When you open a bottle of wine, do you just drink it right away? No, you let the wine air out. It's. I don't drink wine on the record. That's not something I do. I just know these things.
Of course not. No, but I think it's important to give it a little bit of time when there's a new entry in a franchise, because sometimes you can think it's the biggest and the grandest just because it's new, which I fell victim to this.
Yeah, you definitely did. I remember that night. We went to see it together, you see. Yeah.
Okay.
I especially think with such a big franchise, you need to give it a little time to air out, because
give it a little time.
Like for example, The Force Awakens, something like that. Some people hated it when it first came out. Some people loved it, but give it a few months and opinions start to change. Takes on a whole.
When I first saw it, I loved it. Then later, I hated it. And now I like it again. Yeah. So that's just the way the world works.
We're going to do a Star Wars episode 100% at one point. When the next 20 movies come out.
With spin-offs. Yeah. All the spin-offs are
Every
included.
spin-off, you know.
Okay. So anyway, back to Jurassic Park. Star Wars is another day. So there are 5 entries into this franchise, and basically we're just going to be going through, ranking them from worst to very best.
And the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We'll be talking about some of the bad aspects of what made it maybe be towards the bottom of the list, and also the good aspects, which kind of drags it to the top of the list. I'm out of water already, so that is a good sign.
Yeah, we got full cups of water. We are currently 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in. Okay. Good job. That's a record.
That's it.
Well, everything's a record because this is the first episode.
So, Aiden and I, we've been trying to get our opinions together about where these movies should be placed on the list, and we have come to 100% agreement on the entire list.
Entire list. We took a little bickering, took a little fighting out. We had to duke out some of our opinions.
It actually wasn't that bad.
It wasn't. We spent 10 minutes and we got on the same page.
Yeah, we were in complete agreement except for one difference.
Yeah.
And before I even started today, I was like, yeah, I changed my mind. And I agreed with Aiden. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it always goes in our friendship on the record.
I suppose. But anyway, so Aiden, take us into the number 5 worst Jurassic Park movie.
Number 5 worst Jurassic Park. I'm not gonna say by far because there's some turds on this list. I'm gonna say it's the newest entry in the franchise, Jurassic Park: The Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic World. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, this has to really be the worst. And a couple things that are wrong with it. Okay. The one thing, I liked this movie when I first saw it, okay? I thought it was good.
He raved about it. Jurassic Basement's what I say.
Okay. The one thing that stuck out to me even while I was watching it and still, like, thinking I liked it, it was the characters, okay? The characters were so annoying.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Which is something that has become a bit of a trope in the Jurassic Park series in the last few installments. Annoying characters.
Okay. The two that come to mind are the two, like, intern people that work with Bryce Dallas Howard's character. There's the one girl who's, like, the medicine lady. And then there's the other guy who's the scream guy, you know?
Scream guy? You always have to have the medicine lady, though. That's
You know, that... Every movie has the medicine lady.
Every movie has a medicine lady. Do you know my favorite part of the last few installments of this
the medicine lady
franchise? The medicine lady, and then when the medicine lady dies later on, it's a riot.
Yeah, but that didn't even happen in this one, so.
Yeah, come on.
Robbed us
you can't do You can't do anything right. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Another one that really just one of my favorite movies in this has a character.
I had to take a sip of water.
Has a character that closely resembles a character from this movie, but done way worse.
Mm-hmm.
The hunter guy who, like, tried to break the tooth off the Indoraptor.
Another thing that's become a trope and cliche.
He was like a 50-cent version of, like, the $200 version of a character in one of the movies farther up on the list.
Mm-hmm. I think Jurassic Park, the writers, they're like, okay, we need to have dinosaurs, that's a given. But what's the next thing we need? We need a hunter.
You know, we need that guy.
We need clever girl. Ooh.
Okay, and then one more thing I'll say about the characters is the one, like, human bad guy or whatever in this movie. He was from, like, the beginning to halfway through the movie, he was, like, relatable, and you're like, yeah, what he's saying makes sense.
Completely.
So then the filmmaker's like, wait a minute, okay, this guy's not evil enough, you know? We have to do something to make it obvious that he's a bad guy. So let's just have him kill an old man.
Yeah,
you know?
Let's have him put a pillow over the old man's head. And I'm here to argue, right, that this was
no.
Even this was right. I'm gonna
this is terrible.
Euthanasia is a major theme of Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom. You know, I think that's the whole message this movie is trying to. It's I don't think it's a cheap cash grab. I think it's
definitely not.
It's secretly pushing the political agenda, right? Of
course.
Of euthanasia. And I think that's a hashtag 2018 euthanasia.
Party.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, another thing I had was tonal inconsistencies in this movie. It started off kind of light, like when they're getting to the island, you're like, wow, dinosaurs. And then they're like, yeah, all of the dinosaurs are dead. They're all gone now. And then you see this shot of, like, the brontosaurus being consumed by the fire. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh no, that's so bad. And then, like, a couple seconds later, you see the intern guy, like, crying or doing something dumb.
I thought the whole like, oh, we need to save these dinosaurs. I thought that was stupid. I didn't necessarily agree. I just thought they should let nature take its course. That's what's happened. You already screwed with Mother Nature. Let her enact her revenge.
Yeah,
you know?
That was kind of the one Bryce Dallas Howard's character. The whole arc was she was like, no, we got to save these dinosaurs. And then towards the end of the movie, she came to realize, no, we have, even if we don't want it, we have to let this happen. And we're like, that's very brave. And then we're like,
no, because we have to save. And then the little girl, I hate the little girl. I wish they would have killed her instead of the grandpa.
Whoa, okay.
No, I wish like the bad guy would have gotten out and the T-Rex would have eaten her. Do you know what she? Let me spoiler alert. In the end, my least favorite part of the whole movie. There are so many things wrong with this movie, you know, but by far worst part is in the end where all the dinosaurs are gonna die, right? The gases are gonna kill them, and we're like, oh, you know, if you love them, you're gonna have to let them go. I have the same opinion when it comes to euthanasia.
Wait a minute.
No, you love them, you're gonna have to let them go, right? And then she's like, yeah, if you love them, you gotta let them go, and they're dying. Then she's like, psych, presses the button that lets all the dinosaurs out into the city. Like, come on.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then how does it end? It ends with a mosasaur eating a surfer dude and a bunch of...
That, individually, the mosasaur, that was cool, though.
More mosasaur. I want to say, like, best part of the new Jurassic World franchise, mosasaur. Calling it. Not even Chris Pratt.
I'm liking it. Now on to the good parts of this movie. They are few and scattered, but the one thing I'll say is the first 5 minutes, the first actual scene of this movie was probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
It was like, watching it made me feel like it was the original Jurassic Park movie. Mm-hmm. That's what it was kind of like.
I think a lot of awful movies have this little section in the beginning when you're like, oh, it's not gonna be so bad, and then after that, it all goes downhill. They just smack you with the shablamo, and
that's what I'm talking about. And then another thing I'll say to this movie's credit is plot, but
throw it away.
In terms of like actual visual storytelling, like the individual camera shots, there are some very good ones in there. And in terms of suspense and like,
there was some good
gut-wrenching moments.
Parts.
That was actually very good. Probably better than a lot of the other movies.
I think that leads into another point. Now, I'm not saying the execution was good, but I liked the idea of it. I liked the idea of Jurassic Basement. Like, I liked the idea of Jurassic Park in a secluded area. But I definitely think they screwed the pooch on this one. They messed up the execution.
Another thing,
they really made love to the dog on this one.
Yeah, Parks and Recreation. Anyway,
that's another episode.
So, a mixed aspect is that they tried to give some of make the dinosaurs more of characters. So, like, in the case of Blue, like the raptor,
they're like, the raptors are actually very smart. They can understand things.
I think it kind of worked with Blue specifically. Like in the first Jurassic World, they tried to make all of the raptors characters, but we didn't care about anyone except Blue. But the Indoraptor being like a bad guy, that's kind of weird. And then like the Pachycephalosaurus that breaks them out of their cell.
Yeah.
It was funny, but like, I don't know. Gave him too much personality, maybe.
I'm always surprised that you know all the names of these dinosaurs. Pachycephalosaurus, is that what you said? I just think. I just remember from the Lost World when they're like, it has 9 inches of bone and its neck vertebrae line up perfectly to survive impact. But other than that, I don't know their names.
Okay. So moving on, that's number 5, the worst movie in this franchise, and now the second worst in our number 4 spot. As much as it pains me to put this movie low.
Oh, it doesn't pain me at all. I want to bring this movie low.
I like this movie.
I hate this film. Not even a film.
We're talking Jurassic Park 3.
Jurassic Park 3.
Jurassic Park 3.
No.
So,
please.
There aren't many bad points I can really explain. Like, it's not so much as it's bad as it's just not good.
It's just cheese. It's bad.
It's just cheese.
You have, it's a rotten cheese rind of a film. You have, like, the characters.
Well, I'm sold.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go watch a rotten cheese rind?
Yes.
So, you start out with, it's bad from the get-go, The characters are just annoying from the beginning.
Uninteresting.
Yeah.
The one thing that comes to mind is all, like, the hired guns, like, the guys they take with them to the island with all the guns. Like, they all die.
What's the point? And you know who doesn't die? The little boy. The little boy has survived.
The little boy is a genius.
The little boy has survived for like a year on this island, where like all these other. It
wasn't a year. It was like a couple months.
Okay, a day is like a year on Jurassic.
My favorite. Well, not my actual favorite. I'm just speculating here. But one of my favorite parts of the movie is when Alan Grant and the kid is in his little bunker. And then he was like, "Here, take this." He's like, "What is this?" He was like, "It's T-Rex pee." And then he's like, "Where'd you get this?" That? He's like,
"You don't want to know." You know what else? I think that's just the writers being like, "I have no idea where you got this T-Rex pee."
And another thing, one thing that made the first Jurassic Park movie good is that all the characters, including Alan Grant, there wasn't really a main character. Mm-hmm. They were all supporting characters.
Yeah.
And I think Alan Grant not having good supporting characters also brings him down a little.
Yeah, definitely. Because I I didn't care much about anyone in this movie,
Yeah.
even Alan Grant, because it was just, it didn't make you care.
Leads me into my next point. Sam Neill, Alan Grant, needs Laura Dern. Needs Ellie Sattler in the movie.
Laura Dern. Hashtag more Laura Dern.
She should have gone to the island, in my opinion, instead of stayed home with her family. What the heck is that? No.
Who needs family? Euthanasia.
Oh, you stop with that.
Okay.
But
all she did in this movie was call the Army and the Navy.
She called the Army and the Navy. No, okay. But anyway, so this movie, I remember as a little kid watching it, I would put this movie in because of all the dinosaur action.
I always remembered the part with the when they're in like the aviation section.
Oh
of
yeah,
the thing. That's the part I remembered. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the one thing I gotta say is the Spinosaurus. Okay, that is dope. I don't care who you are. The Spinosaurus is awesome. The big boy kills a T-Rex. Let's be honest here. That's the equivalent of Thanos beating up Hulk in the first 2 minutes of Infinity War.
Hey, spoilers. Hey.
Oh, it's been months. Infinity War came out before Jurassic World 2.
ASMR with Carson Kennedy and Aiden Fletcher. Welcome to Taco Talk. ASMR.
Okay, no, we're not doing that.
Anyway, that's another episode.
No, that is not. So yeah. So
I think you can't talk about Jurassic Park 3 and not talk about the phone. That's a main
the satellite phone.
The satellite telephone.
I gotta say, since the first time I watched this movie, I have known that little jingle,
hit us with the jingle, Carson. Hit us with the jingle.
It goes. Should I do it up high?
Do it up high. Do it. Okay, do it all the way.
Okay. Getting warmed up over here.
Okay, there we go. That's the jingle.
That is the jingle. Love it or hate it.
Hate it.
Yeah, you hate it. Everyone hates it.
Everyone hates it.
It really just grinds your gears.
It grinds your gears.
I think I think they're trying to make it obnoxious ringtone so you would remember it because it is memorable.
Yeah, so I've always remembered it. I've always remembered that ringtone, but it makes you remember it for all the wrong reasons. It just makes you want to just right,
oof,
like
no good.
It's like saying like you remember where you were when something awful happened. It's not like you want to remember where you are. It's just you remember because it was awful.
Where were you doing Jurassic Park 3?
I wasn't born. I was not. I was not a fetus.
Wasn't even an idea at that point. Okay. Anyway, number 4 is where we're leaving that movie. I hate to see you go, but we got to move on. We got to leave you behind.
Yep. I'm okay.
Take us into the next movie.
I'll bring us in with number 3 at the he just hit the microphone. Carson, my touchscreen doesn't work. We have laptops in front of us for all of you listening in at home, which is probably going to be like 10 people. We have number 3, the reboot of the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic World. Way to screw. Made love to the pooch on that one, didn't I?
Stop. Okay, so yeah, Jurassic World. This is the one we had disagreement on as where to place this movie, because it's good. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's good, but
it's mediocre.
Could have been better.
I think Jurassic World did not shoot for like being some good on its own. Like you can really reboot the franchise. It's on the boot heels of the Jurassic Park, and it's just, it didn't strive for greatness, it strove for mediocrity on this one.
I don't know if it strove for mediocrity. No one really strives for mediocrity. But that's what it got, either way.
Strive low, and then when you go high, no one's disappointed.
I always tell people to take the high road, but I never take the high road. Tell people to take the high road. More room for me on the low road.
Amen. Hey, Parks and Rec, future episode.
Definitely. Okay.
But Jurassic World.
So the one glaring issue with this movie is, I mentioned it earlier, they tried to make the raptors more of characters.
They tried to make the dinosaurs, human.
The one thing about the raptors is there's that guy, and he was like, you know what? We gotta take these raptors. We gotta make them in the army. We're gonna make army raptors.
What is it with the Jurassic Park series and every macho man wanting to turn the dinosaurs into like an army thing? How many people go around and are like, we need to tame these lions into an army?
Lions?
The special army lions. That's basically the same thing.
These porcupines.
Porcupine. They're gonna shoot missiles off of their back. Porcupine.
They actually will.
Special Force Porcupine.
Exactly.
Yeah, awful idea.
So that
for
subplot
anyone.
didn't really work for me.
But it's like it's also a subplot in every Jurassic, like except for the first one, every single one is about.
And of course, this got caught up in the same troubles that The Force Awakens did. It's been such a long time chronologically because we had the prequels of Star Wars, but since going on past the original Star Wars trilogy, we had to put something here. So they stuck a little bit too close to the original film.
Exactly, they played
a little bit too close.
Played it too safe, and they make just a bland remake of the original without any of the heart.
I gotta say though, one thing I don't even have this written down because I just remembered it is Mr. Mizrani. I actually really liked him because like when he was there, you're like, hey, because you know. Claire's all about the numbers and the money, but then he's like, are the visitors enjoying themselves? And you're like, it just makes you feel good that, you know, someone good is in charge of the park. And then he dies, and you're like, oh no, it's all really going bad. The one thing I will say about this movie, in terms of the good part, there are multiple things.
Yeah.
Is one, first of all, Chris Pratt, okay?
Well, there's gotta love Chris Pratt. That also brings us back to our Parks and Rec episode. That'll be a thing. But yeah, Chris Pratt, he makes his. He makes up for so much bad things. So many bad things in this movie. You can have the most boring
character in the world, but if Chris Pratt. It still may be a bad character, but he just makes it better.
I think this movie was missing...
no, you stop.
I think this movie...
Fletch will have to bleep this out.
I think this movie was missing...
Fletch, don't do it.
something big. Here, let's see if I can...
That is one big pile of shit.
That's what this movie is missing. It's missing one big pile of... You know... How many children are going to be watching? How many little, like, tykes are we going to be sending this to, Carson? It's fine. Ava. Yeah, what?
Yeah. No, but
so,
anyway.
Yeah, Chris Pratt definitely makes up for a lot in this movie.
This movie, it's just a fun watch through, really. Just seeing an operational Jurassic Park, it's just appealing to watch.
A money grab, but an enjoyable money grab nonetheless. Like, this is a movie that you could come out of the theater still having fun. Now, my fun, personally, my favorite... The thing that made me laugh the most in this whole movie. So, do you remember the nanny that the kids have?
Oh, no.
Favorite part of the movie is when she's carried away, right, by the, what is it?
Pterodactyl.
The pterodactyl. Pterodactyl picks her up, carries her away, and it drops her right in the water. And you're like, oh, no, she's safe. Or some people are like, oh, yeah, she's safe. I'm not one of those people. And she's sitting in the water. She's like, oh, no. I think she's Russian, isn't she? Can she not speak English? I think she can't speak English. I don't know.
She's foreign,
but she's in the water and she's saying something. And then you're like, oh, she's going to live. And then the mosasaur just up and grabs her.
No.
My
what
favorite
you don't
part.
remember
I laughed so hard.
The pterodactyl didn't just drop her, okay? The original one dropped her. Another one picked her up. They were both in the water. Mosasaur got them both.
They got them both. Exactly. You know, I was watching this movie with good friend Jonathan Wetzel, right? And we were watching it, I just laughed so hard at this point, and everyone in the theater turns to me and they're like, insane. "What's wrong?" And I had a classmate come up to me, and I remember her father is a policeman. She's like, "Was that you laughing back there?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was." Oh. Okay. I just thought it was hilarious. I don't know. I think that like Jurassic World, it wasn't the best. Had some moments. Definitely had its moments.
I'm not done with this movie. I still have a few things to say.
You still have a few things to say? Go ahead. Go ahead.
The one kid, I don't remember his character's name in this movie.
See, that's another big thing. They're unimportant.
The actor's name is Ty Simpkins. He is Harley, the little kid from Iron Man 3. I love him. He's just funny.
We need to see more of that Iron
My
Man
favorite
2
line
trip.
from him is when they're first boarding the island. He asked his older brother, he's like, how big is the island? And then he's like, I don't know, big. And then he's like, but how many pounds? And then he's like, that doesn't make sense. It's just so kid-like, you know?
But
and
how many
like I said
pounds?
with Jurassic Park 3, you see the Spinosaurus, kill the T-Rex. The one thing, in the climax of this movie, when Claire leads the T-Rex out to fight the Indominus, I didn't notice this like the first couple times I watched this movie, but the T-Rex runs right through the skeleton of a Spinosaurus, as if to say, you know what, I'm taking this crap back.
Yeah, that was a good little Easter egg. That's a good shout out to Jurassic Park 3. However bad the film was, they did good there. At least keeping that continuity, you know? I wouldn't go so far as to say they righted the wrongs. I think that's a pretty big statement.
Acknowledge that the other movies did happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, moving on
Bringing
from that,
it in.
That's number 3.
Number 2
is The Lost World.
The Lost World.
This is the movie that I was kind of didn't know where to flip-flop between Jurassic World and this movie.
He had a problem between those two, yeah.
But in the end, I had to go with this movie. So
Easy.
I think the number 2 and number 1 spots, the bad parts are way overshadowed by the good parts, but there are still a couple bad parts. The one thing, the biggest problem probably with The Lost World is just the pacing and the length of the movie. Mm-hmm. So you start off, it feels like forever before you get to actual dinosaurs and being on the island.
2 hours and 9 minutes long, and for just a summer blockbuster, that's quite a bit. That's a lot of time.
The only part I actually like watching about the beginning is when
the little girl gets eaten.
Well, when she
oh no, she's fine. She's fine.
No, like when the mother runs and she goes, ah, and she like opens her mouth to scream. Then
and
cuts
then
Jeff Goldblum on the train.
Yawning. It's great. I think that's an easy number 2 for me. If not just for Jeff Goldblum. Uh-huh. I love Jeff Goldblum. Weird. He's a little weird of a guy, but I love Jeff Goldblum. Also, a little interesting tidbit. And I mean, this is big for the Jurassic Park series. This was the last Jurassic Park film directed by Steven Spielberg. The rest may have been funded by him, but this was the last actually directed.
And you can tell.
You can tell at this point, he's abandoning ship. I can tell you that.
No.
But
anyway, also, they get off the island, right? And you're like, okay, the movie is wrapping up. But that's what you think. That's only what you think. There's still another 30 minutes of a little T-Rex boy running around San Fran, eating people. He kills a lot of people.
This is something I didn't even remember watching through. I was watching it the other day, right? And I go through, and they're leaving the island. I'm like, wow, I guess it's over. There we go, Jurassic Park 2. And then no, San Fran. You got T-Rex.
Wait a minute.
T-Rex in San
Don't
Fran.
leave. No, but it kind of reminds me of The Dark Knight, except The Dark Knight.
It's better. It's
does
much
this well,
better.
Is that the Joker's kind of defeated there, but then you still have a little bit more of the movie
gotta
where
get
gotta get the
Harvey
Two-Face
Dent.
in there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that, except not done as well. And the one thing, so this movie talks about the dinosaurs are getting out into the open world, which is like a main theme in Jurassic World 2. And they don't even mention it. Like in the courtroom, don't you think someone would have been like, "Hey, remember that time?
Do you remember
that time
when
in the 90s?
Dinosaur got out in
remember that
in
time
San
in the late
Francisco?
90s, early 2000s when a T-Rex killed a bunch of people?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be a big thing in the anti-dinosaur cause.
Yeah.
But no.
How is InGen still a company after
exactly.
that? They
and
would
how
be bombarded
after something like that, how could you even make a Jurassic World? How, after all the stuff that happened, would any government allow this to happen? Because I mean, the island, as stated in Jurassic Park, the first one, he's like, I leased it from the government, and you're like, okay, so if you lease it from the government, they have to approve what you put out.
Yeah,
like you can't just build a park full of dinosaurs and them not know about it. I mean,
condors. If I was bringing back an island of condors, you would have. You don't.
This doesn't register for me.
The shade in your eye really just kind of tells me that you're not connecting with what I'm saying. That's a quote from the original movie, but okay. So now on to the good for this movie.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Of course.
Number one good thing about this movie, Jeff Goldblum.
Not only a man and a myth, but also a legend.
He's definitely a legend. What a guy. I mean,
at this point,
he's not even a legend. Jeff Goldblum's no legend. He's a god.
He is the Grand Master.
Exactly.
One could say.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to
Saka. So, this movie also has the tense moments that you would expect from a Jurassic Park entry, but not as many. But when they're there, they're good.
There are some definite amazing scenes in this movie. My personal favorite, right?
I know what you're saying.
When they're going through the tall grass. The party's going straight in the middle of the tall grass, and then you have all these lines
before you start here,
through.
The one guy literally shouts, "Don't go into the tall grass," but everyone still does. They're not running either. They're just kind of like
leisurely walking. Yeah.
And then the guy who shouted that leisurely walked through it too. Like, what's up with that, dude? Make up your mind. He's bipolar for sure.
Exactly.
But anyway, continue with what you were saying.
But it's just, I love it, so much tension. Like, that's how you make good tension in a movie. Like, that right there, I mean, that's how you do a scene.
Yeah, and especially with everyone has the flashlights, and then you just see the chaotic
when they're
shots
starting
where the beams of light are going everywhere, and you can't really understand what's going on. It's taking a little bit of time.
Quick shots in between the deaths.
Exactly.
Like, those are the moments when you know it's Steven Spielberg directing this picture, right? Yeah, he definitely has his times to shine. Also good, definitely, we got the good raptor action, but the RV scene, right?
For sure. For those of you who may not know what we're talking about and are just trying to keep up here, the RV scene, 2 T-Rexes, they kind of take the baby T-Rex back because its leg's broken. They take it back to their RV where all their medical equipment is.
The 2 T-Rexes take it back? No,
the humans
it's Ian Malcolm and his girlfriend that take it.
Forgive me, but the 2 T-Rexes, they come, they're like, give us our baby.
Yeah, because the baby's crying.
They spoke those words in the movie.
You really?
Yes. And then the T-Rex kind of like nudged the RV over the cliff, and then it's like hanging off. Everything's falling out the bottom, and then Sarah's trying to get up. She doesn't
breaking the glass. It's a very tense moment. I really hated his girlfriend in this moment. Like, I hate, again, this goes into our number 5 on this list, Fallen Kingdom. Like, how the humanitarian effort for dinosaurs, right? Like, she's fixing this thing's leg, and Ian Malcolm's like, you shouldn't be doing this. There's T-Rex that they're gonna come. The mothers protect their young, and she's like, but its leg's broken.
No, honestly, think about this. So the T-Rex leg was broken by the hunter guy who wanted to lure the T-Rex there to shoot it. Now, I believe if they hadn't taken the T-Rex, the big T-Rex would have come, hunter would have shot it, wouldn't have killed it. Would have killed the hunter, would have killed everyone there, and then we'd have no movie. So I kind of understand that they were doing that. Doesn't mean I don't have to like it.
Why couldn't they have just taken it, gotten rid of the hunter, and then left the T-Rex on its stony lonesome? I don't know. But yeah, that was definitely a very good scene. I love the tension there.
This is a standout line for me. It's very funny. I still quote it with my older brother
Quite
to
comical.
this day.
Shout out to Landon Kennedy, who's letting us, well, not really letting us, we kind of just use his room for the filming of this. His room. Shout out Landon Kennedy.
Just has that vibe to it,
Yeah. What a podcast vibe.
But anyway. So, it's when they first get to the island, they're trying to find Sarah because... Ian, he's a little bit paranoid, thinks maybe something bad happened to her.
You sent my girlfriend to that?
Excuse me, that's my girlfriend? No, but anyway. So then he's like, Sarah!
Very and then good the one thing guy to yell on a Jurassic Park.
Then the one guy shouts, Sarah Harding! And then Jeff Goldblum turns and says, how many Sarahs do you think are on this island? And I don't know, it resonates deeply with me.
Does it resonate? Does Sarah Harding resonate deeply with you?
No, Jeff Goldblum does.
Okay, Jeff Goldblum. What a guy.
Okay. Keeping on the topic of Jeff Goldblum.
Let's roll on number one on this list. I think everyone saw this coming.
Wait. Should we say it at the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Jurassic Park. No, the original. I mean, what a classic.
Jurassic Park's and recreation.
Oh, ooh. We're making that will be a film we will actually finish.
Jurassic Park. We will make that film.
We will make it. Yeah. The Fletcher Carson brothers. Yeah, that's
for sure.
We're going to make this movie. But I think it's
except Chris Pratt is playing Andy Dwyer. He's not playing Owen.
I think it's
Owen Grady.
It's very no, I think they're going to meet and we're going to have them we're going to do the double thing where you have the same actor play the double role and they're going to meet. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, we're long-lost twins. You're really...
And then Star-Lord comes out of a wormhole. He's like, yo, what up?
Yeah, we would make a great... Okay. But I don't think it's any contest for the original at number one. I think everyone knew it was coming. I think it's default number one. Because none of the other films in the series even... Yeah. They don't hold a candle to the original.
Exactly. They may hold a match, but a candle.
A candle, that's a stretch.
I don't know.
That's a stretch.
So, let's get the bad parts out of the way. There aren't many, but the one thing is not really a complaint. You can't change this. But since it was back in the good old days, a while ago, the animation was not so hot.
Yeah, the CG
Don't get me wrong.
And the effects, they're groundbreaking for their time.
For their time, but it kind of dates it a little bit.
This was the first movie to really implement CG.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it had its practical effects, but still.
Yeah, the practical effects, however, the animatronic models of they still look banging today.
And again, me being me, I'm a purist. I'm an old soul.
He is all about...
I'm all about that practical. Shout out to 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. Ooh.
Every time Fletch and I have tried to make something, he was like, okay, let me get some fake blood.
Yeah, every single time. Also, that's another thing we've tried to do. We've tried to make multiple horror movies like that. But we wanted to do a Lost in the Woods one. We were gonna do a guerrilla shoot, Blair Witch Project style. It's all about the fake blood, modeling clay.
Yeah, obviously.
Latex, gotta get all that latex.
I'm allergic to latex.
Too bad for you, Carson.
No, I'm not. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know you could be allergic to latex, but apparently you can. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to, why we're here. Jurassic Park. So, another thing I just gotta say it, is that the sister, the sister of Tim, I forget her name, but I think it's Lexi.
Mm-hmm.
Lex? Something.
She's just so annoying.
I don't like her.
Yeah, that's a problem with, I think, both of the kids in this movie. They can be quite annoying.
And you know what? This movie, I think, maybe recognizes she's a bit annoying because, that Brachiosaur just sneezes on her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what she deserves.
I just don't think Spielberg could make the movie without getting a little bit of potty humor in there. So you have the pig pile, and then you have her getting sneezed on and covered by the Bronchiosaurus in the tree. And personally, I liked that. She needed to get sneezed on.
There are only two parts. Well, no. Yeah, basically, yeah. There are only two parts where I thought she worked, and that's when she was like, where's the goat? And then they got attacked by the T-Rex. And also, when they were towards the end of the movie, when they're in the main part, and they're just loading up on the desserts, and then she saw the shadow of the raptor, she was quaking like California.
Like California.
And she had a spoon with Jell-O in it, and she was just a-going. It looked like she was about to, fall over.
I'll tell you something. This podcast is fire like California. But I think also what really made me hate her, I remember my mom was, yelling when this happened. When she's screaming, when the T-Rex is there, honey, be quiet. Yeah, I hate that part. Every time I'm like, just shut up.
Just you don't even.
And then she turns on the light and turn it off. I hate that. Yeah. Oh.
Okay. So,
but now to the good, and there's a lot of good.
There's a lot of good.
I think we've already touched the CG. That was such a ground, that ushered in a whole new era for film and television too. I mean, personally, I'd still rather have practical effect, but still very groundbreaking for its time. And the animatronics too. I mean, again, like you said, they still hold up amazing to this day. Yeah.
A fun fact about the animatronics: in the scene where the T-Rex first attacks them, it's kind of bumping into their car a little bit with the kids in it. They use the animatronics to hit the car. The animatronic for the T-Rex actually broke down the ceiling of the car. Remember that? And the glass plane fell on him?
Yeah.
That was not planned.
That wasn't planned?
The animatronic, that was an accident.
Complete accident. Well, I mean, one of those things
and
that works.
And it worked.
I love it when there's an accident on set and it works perfectly. Do you know, second fun fact about this movie, I'm sure you already know this, but the water, that classic part where the water's quaking in the cup, right, and on the puddle, they achieve that. One of the production designers was a bassist for a rock band, right? So they had him come in. They got they brought the subwoofers, the huge speakers, and they just had him play.
I did not know that.
A note over and over to get the shaking going on, the quake. Yeah, fun fact.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. And such a classic, iconic moment in that movie is when that's. Yeah. I love that.
So, the one thing, this is probably one of my personal favorites of it, I'm jumping down the list a bit, is some of the quotes in this movie.
Oh, so quotable.
I'm a big quoter, okay? I will quote things. I don't even think about who's around me, but I will quote things. I don't care if they understand it or not. I will reference it.
Amen.
And I draw
As
on
he has done already.
I draw on this film a lot. One of my favorite ones is when Dennis Nedry and the Dogson guy.
Oh, Dennis! I love Dennis.
Genius. And then he's like Dogson, and he's like waving him over, and then he's like, you shouldn't use my real name, and then he just goes, Dogson, we got Dogson over here.
See, nobody cares. I love that scene. It's so memeable. It's so quotable. I just love it. And I mean that again. That I love Dennis and Samuel Jackson. I mean they loaded up. They got a great cast for this movie.
And also with Dennis Nedry, when right before he was about to go steal like the dinosaur embryos and stuff, he's like trying to make a lame excuse to like leave the control room. He's like, I think I'm gonna go get some snacks. Anybody want any snacks? He was like, I think I already had something sweet today, so I'm gonna try to go with something salty, maybe some pretzels. And I'm just like, oh my word, he's quaking in his boots right now. He is a
great liar. I love that. And then nobody bats an eye because he's.
Because everyone already hates the guy.
Yeah, nobody cares what you
do.
Leave. He could have just gotten up and walked out. Nobody would have cared. It's fine. But yeah, I loved that.
You didn't say the magic word.
I love Dennis. And Samuel L. Jackson. One thing that made me sad. He had a death scene they were gonna film, never included because a tropical storm. Right? Was it a tropical storm was in the area and they couldn't film. So, but yeah, amazing movie. What an iconic, great film. One of Steven Spielberg's most iconic.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Though some may argue one of his just his fun, most fun and just best movies. In his
another, of course. When you have Jeff Goldblum in a movie, he's gonna have some quotes. We already talked about one of them. Okay. But another one is like when, he's kind of injured and he's in the back of the car and then they're driving away and then, Laura Dern's just having a fit. She's like, she's screaming and everything. And then Jeff Goldblum turns around and he's like, must go faster.
And knowing, like watching some videos of like Jeff Goldblum in real life, I'm sure he'd say it just like that, like must go faster. Like he's like a genuinely.
At this point, I don't even know where the script stops and Jeff
where
Goldblum starts.
Exactly, it's Jeff Goldblum. I think he's a master of improv in his movies because he's just so spontaneous and weird. Like he just
exactly
awesome guy. But yeah.
Now we have two more points, good parts to touch up on this. It's the one, like we kind of said with Jurassic World 2, is like just kind of the suspense in it.
The suspense and terror aspect is a...
This really kind of changed the thriller scene. Because it's not necessarily a horror movie. But like thriller... Like,
this is what scared the little kids coming to watch this movie.
Taking an idea that's not inherently scary, dinosaurs...
Like, lot of little kids love dinosaurs. They have the the dinosaur bed, dinosaur room, like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then, like, this movie, they're like, Mommy, get the bed sheets off, paint my room. But, yeah, like, they did a great job.
Look at this little guy
But
back here.
we have a dinosaur,
stuffed dinosaur
plush toy in front of the door as a sound barrier.
He's protecting us.
Yeah, I love that terror aspect. Again, Steven Spielberg did a great job. Screenwriters did a great job. Really crafted just such an amazing film.
I couldn't agree more. But the one thing, I touched up on this with Jurassic World 1, is just seeing the dinosaurs back. This is the first time anyone's really attempted this. Just seeing them, like, visually, like...
Such a wonder aspect, I'd say. Like,
it's just awesome.
It's just amazing. Such, like, when you first go... When she gets out of the car, right? And she just looks up at the Bronchiosaurus and she's just like, oh my gosh. That's the people seeing it in theaters for the first time. Because that's the first time they would have seen CG for most people. Yeah. Unless you work in design, computer design for movies. I mean, amazing.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of... There's so many things I could say about this movie.
But you know...
Should I?
I think this movie... I think it says it by itself. Just go watch Jurassic Park #1. What an amazing film. I think that...
No, one more thing. The T-Rex is, of course, the flagship dinosaur of kind of
yes.
Jurassic Park franchise.
Easy.
But not my favorite. The thing that really steals the show here is a dinosaur that was largely unknown before its release. Everyone knew T-Rex. Everyone who's anyone knows
anyone who's anyone knows.
But not many knew what a Velociraptor was until this movie came out. Stole the show.
Breakout moment for the Velociraptor.
Stole the show. Terrifying. I had nightmares about these things. I'm not even joking. With the foot claw that went.
And that
me right.
You know, when you say Velociraptor Jurassic Park, the one thing that it really brings me to, all I can remember is Mr. Falk, and he's like, there's one thing I don't like about Jurassic Park. And we're like, what's that, Mr. Falk? And he says, it's the Velociraptors. And we're like, what is it? And he's like, see, they're cold-blooded, right? So when they go and breathe on the glass and it fogs up, that's impossible because their breath would be the same temperature as the room, therefore not making it fog. He's like, other than that, good movie, but that makes me just not like it. That's the one thing I will never forget about it.
But what if the temperature of
the interior, because this is
what if the temperature in the kitchen is different from the temperature of the
hallway?
Get
into that. This is another episode.
That's not an arguing point.
This is neither here nor there, Carson. But
it's here, there, everywhere. It's anything and everything.
Anything and Everything was going to be the name for Taco Talk, but then upon our research, we found that there were at least 8 YouTube channels, 4 of them being podcasts with the same name. So we decided on Taco Talk, and I love it. I think this has been a successful first episode, definitely.
Yeah. Since this is the first episode, I'm going to tell you where the name Taco Rock
came from. Yeah. Well, let's just...
We got to start
actually,
in the beginning.
this might be a little hard, Carson. I don't think we can say this without completely giving away a movie idea.
Oh, that's true.
That is very true. So I think this is going to be
I won't give the details of what we're talking about.
Needless to say, there is a movie in the works under the name Taco Rock.
When he says in the works,
it's definitely
all we have is the idea. There's no way we can do this.
I think the idea is all you need. I think Taco Rock...
Where are we going to get Michael Pena?
Yeah, Michael Pena is necessary for Taco Rock. Michael Pena, if you're listening to this at any point, which is highly unlikely, but I have faith. I have faith in you, Michael.
Man, you can do it. Super legit.
Michael, you can do it. Michael, I believe in you, Michael.
Okay, you need to stop. But anyway...
But yeah.
I gotta start the story, where it starts. 2003, July 5th. Carson Kennedy was born.
Amen. Yeah.
No, okay, this.
What a breakthrough moment.
Basically, my brother, again, Landon Kennedy, what a genius. We invented a game where someone gave us 2 completely random words, and with those words alone, we had to come up with the plot and actors for a movie.
Known as
and my little brother,
son of a pitch.
My little brother, thinking he was funny, tried to give me a hard one with taco and rock. So with that, you're like, I don't know, what is this? Is like a rock that's in a mariachi band? What is this? But no, I took it and I completely morphed the idea into a heist comedy action film starring Michael Pena. And it was such a good idea. It was so iconic, you know?
So iconic.
When I told Fletch, it resonated with him.
It's crazy stupefying.
It's crazy stupid. When I told Fletch, it just resonated.
It just resonated. I think this is such an amazing idea.
This movie may or may not get made, but the name is gold, so we got to keep it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely think at one point we're going to do Taco Rock. Maybe one day we'll give the true, like, the full backstory behind the name Taco Rock.
Maybe, you know, when we officially...
Maybe. You know what that maybe is?
Will we make this movie? Maybe. But more likely to happen is we sell the rights to this movie
and become multi-millionaires.
That's what I'm
get the straight cash, crazy, stupid fine. You know... I'm gonna say it right now.
Never go for a flat fee. We're going for the percentage.
The only time that you're ever going to get the real history to the name Taco Rock is when we make the movie. And I think that's how we're gonna have to end the first episode of
this is the first episode
of Taco Talk by Taco Rock Productions.
So if you want to see more podcast episodes, well, I mean, we're gonna make more, so too bad if you don't want to. But just show your support. Just comment your favorite part. Comment your least favorite part. You don't have to. You don't really have to, because I already know it's Fletch. Okay, he's your least favorite part.
Oh, okay. No. Comment your. You know what?
Comment your rankings.
Yeah, comment your rankings. Comment ideas. Comment what you want to see next in Taco Rock Productions. Any movie ideas? You hit us up. Slide into our DMs.
Make sure to like it, because you know the YouTube algorithm likes.
Yeah. Oh, picking up there. Yeah.
And also, we don't really have a regular schedule set out for this thing.
So we'd like to.
It is imperative that you hit the little notification bell.
Yeah. Comment, and subscribe, people.
Whenever this goes up, you know. You'll know.
And support us.
Because we don't even know.
Exactly. We'd like to get the notification too. I don't know.
I mean, if we could, we would.
Hey, and support us on Patreon. We don't have a Patreon. We're not going to ask for that right now. Yeah. But hey.
Make sure to subscribe. We're at 11 subscribers.
11 subscribers.
That
breakthrough.
Is a big double digits.
And hopefully by the time this comes out, we'll get up to 12. Hey, God willing. Am I right?
God bless.
So for all of you there at home on your phones, your laptop, your cassette Walkmans, thank you for tuning in to Taco Talk. This has been Carson Kennedy and Aiden Fletcher. We've had such a blast. And good night.